The miles are already racking up on the Yukon. I've put almost 10,000 miles on this vehicle. On today's episode, we're gonna go ahead and change the front axle oil, the rear axle oil, and the transfer case fluid. So let's get started. On this vehicle, it is 80W90, so let's go ahead and get the front axle drained. So judging by the condition of this fluid, I would hazard a guess to say that this front differential fluid has never been changed. There's a good chance this is the first time we're doing it. So it's a good idea to go ahead and let it all drip out, and we'll get it filled up with some fresh 80W90 here in a minute. Fill plug is going to be up here next to the steering rack. And on these drain plugs, there is a rubber seal that appears to be part of the drain plug. So in this case, I'm going to be reusing the drain plug. If you want to replace that seal, I would recommend you replace the drain plug. Now, I don't have an exact torque spec on this bolt. I'm going to go ahead and torque it to 25 Newton meters, or about 18 foot-pounds. And I will be using this 1-liter syringe to install it. It makes it very handy to put fluid into certain spaces that are at an angle. The only note is, when you're pushing hydraulic fluid or pushing gear oil this heavy through a syringe, it's not exactly the easiest, but this is what we'll work with. Alright, so we got the front axle oil changed. Now we're going to go ahead and move over to the transfer case. Now keep in mind, on these vehicles, this is a Dexron VI, a Dexron 6 type fluid that goes into this transfer case. Let's go ahead and get it drained. Now, one thing I do want to point out is on these drain plugs, there is no gasket, so I put a little bit of plumber's tape around this one. And the fill plug is a little tough to see, but it is right there next to the drain plug. I'm going to go ahead and get my Dexron in the syringe and get it filled up. Now, because these, like I said, don't have seals, I did plumber's tape on both plugs, and I torqued them to about 18 Newton meters. So that takes care of the transfer case. So we'll go ahead and finish off this video doing the rear axle. So as it turns out, there is no drain plug on this rear axle. There is only a fill plug. So the correct way to do this is you remove this rear pumpkin cover, you pull the plate off, you replace the gasket. However, I can't get a hold of the gasket anytime soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hose on the end of my big syringe and suck out as much of that fluid as I can through that fill hole. And I'll replace that oil with some fresh 75/90. So that actually ended up working out quite well. Using that hose to extract the fluid, was able to get about the full 2 liters out of it. Again, the way you're supposed to do it is to pull that cover off and replace the gasket. There may still be a little bit of material sitting at the bottom. I did my best to get it out. For now, I'm going to go ahead and fill it up with some fresh 75/90, and we'll go on from there. We've got both of our axle oils changed and the fluid in the transfer case, so we're good to go. I'm going to go get this washed. There's plenty more maintenance to do in the future, and I'll see you in the next video.